No combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard. No song that I could sing, but I could try for your heart. Our dreams, they're made out of real things, like a shoebox of photographs with sepia-tone loving. Love is the answer leads for most of the questions in my heart, like why are we here and where do we go and how come it's so hard? It's not always easy and sometimes life can be deceiving. I tell you one thing, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, we're always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at the stars and we're together. Well, we're always better when we're together. Yeah, we're always better when we're together. And everywhere you look, everywhere you go, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, everywhere you go, there's a face, somebody who needs you.
Uncle Jesse, we love you. Uncle Jesse with the Beach Boys. Hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, hanging out with someone who's become a really good friend of mine. His name is Oliver Steele. We originally met at this amazing music event that happens in Nashville called the Pitch Meeting, where he is seen performing there quite often. But he was on American Idol Season 21, top 7 finalists, absolutely incredible person and amazing singer, amazing guitar player. I can't imagine how he learned, but we'll get into that. And I just want to welcome him here and thank you for spending some time here, man. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you again.
Sometimes I'm meeting people for the first time on this channel, but you and I have hung out quite a bit.
No, I see you like every week at Pitch.
Yeah,
we hang out. There. I'm like, what up, Marty? You're like, what's up, Oliver? And then we sit and have a drink, have a chat.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we got you here finally. And
I'm excited.
Anyway, happy to have you. What network was American Idol on that you were on?
It was ABC.
No, just because Full House was on ABC, right? Had you been to Hawaii before?
No, that was my first time to Hawaii. This is my first time. Like, I won't lie, I got off stage after that performance, and like, you can see it. If you go back and watch the performance, I'm smiling the entire way through. I got off stage, went backstage, and I cried, because I was like, at that moment in time, I was happier than any other point in the competition, and I could have gone home right then and there and be like, I'm good.
Awesome, man.
Like, you know what I mean? To get to perform my hero's song on national television in the state where he's from, like in his home state, like, it's hard to get a good sense of what Hawaii is on Idol because you are at a Disney resort.
Right.
And you are on Disney's time.
So it's a Disney-fied
to an extent, yeah. I mean, they're definitely pushing the Disney thing. I do appreciate that they include a lot of like local culture down to the architecture. And they actually, like, every night they have like a local act come in and perform live music. The true experience for me was when I went back in July after that to see Ian perform, and then
Ian, is that how you say it?
Ian, yeah.
Ian,
short for William, but he goes by Ian.
Sounds more exotic.
Yeah, I think he did it on purpose. The crazy thing for me was because of my relationship with Ian on the show, I didn't know what kind of impact that had on people, like the way I treated him, because I look at him as my little brother. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he's family. Like, he was calling my father, who's, you know, he's passed away now, but he was calling my dad while he was in the ER. Talking to my dad every night. And when someone does that, that goes beyond the realms of you're my friend. That's like
a family.
That's a family thing.
Yeah.
And even my own father was like, he's like a second son and he's part of this family forever. So I went on my buddy's podcast, he calls me and he goes, hey man, just so you know, like, a lot of people are excited that you're coming here. And I didn't really get, I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you're sort of like Hanai. And I go, what does that mean? He goes, oh, it means adopted. I go, oh. So I get there, and I'm expecting like maybe a couple people to recognize me. I get recognized more on Oahu, especially around like North Shore, than I do anywhere else, including here in Mount Juliet, which is where I'm from. Mm-hmm. Like, everywhere I went when I was there, and to be fair, it was right after the Idol stuff had just wrapped, but like, everywhere I went, there was some, we call them aunties, like an auntie with a handmade flower lei, just like, here, I got this for you. And I'm like, it's extremely humbling because it's a culture and a people that are very guarded and have been through a lot historically. So to be accepted by anybody out there was the most beautiful thing.
So does the necklace represent something? Is that like a type of...
They're kukui nuts or candle nuts. They call them candle nuts because you could pluck it off a tree and light it and it'll stay lit because of the oil content.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
essentially they represent a couple things, which is like luck, guidance, and knowledge. You'll see these a lot at like, especially like out west in California, college graduations, because they sell them and hand them out as a token of luck, like good luck to you. And I sort of became known for wearing it on the show, because once I got it, I kept wearing it in towards the end of my run, to the point where people would comment and be like, "Where'd your beads go?" They said, "Where are the beads and where's the beanie?"
Well, I can't relate to like a thing that you're known for wearing all the time. I mean, I don't relate to that at all.
Yeah, never.
We talked about some of your influences, Alan Stone being one of them,
Yeah.
Jack Johnson being another one.
The thing about my influences is I can remember exactly where I was and what I was doing the first time I heard each of them.
Yep.
And that's the funny thing. So like with Alan, I was about 14 years old, sitting in my grandmother's basement, and I was watching MTV, and MTV's Artist to Watch popped up, and it was Alan. And I was like, who is this man? And then years later, when I met him on Idol, the producers are like, so you're an Alan fan? I'm like, yeah. They're like, can you play any of his music? Like, we hadn't shot yet, and I like did the... And they go, can you like walk up to him playing that? I'm like, yes. And it's like such a dream come true to be able to like walk up to him. And I told him after, I was like, dude, like, you don't understand. Like, I listened to nothing but like pop and country when I was little. So like when I became an adult, I went on this journey of like discovering R&B and soul and neo soul, and that was my introduction, was Alan Stone, which led to me getting into like Erykah Badu and like Lauryn Hill and Daniel Caesar and like
I think
D'Angelo.
Alan Stone's got a big Stevie Wonder influence.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That led me going down that rabbit hole too, like listening to Stevie for days on end after I got done listening to Alan. So that's when I heard him. And like Jack Johnson was when I was little. We went to see the Curious George movie in the theater, and he did that whole soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I was just enamored the entire time with his music.
That's awesome, man.
His music got me through a really rough patch in my life too. Learning him and John Mayer's songs is what developed my technique.
Yeah.
As a player. I might get blasted for saying this, but he was my introduction to the concept of sometimes a cover song is better than the original. You know, when John comes in with the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like every person in the crowd didn't know what he was playing until he started singing.
Yeah.
But now every person that grew up with his music like I did, when they hear that, they're like, that's John Mayer's Free Fall.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, let's do your next tune.
Yeah.
What's it called? Tell me about it.
So this song, it's called Love Begins With You. It's coming out August 23rd. And it was produced by Chris DiStefano, who I had the wonderful pleasure of working with. So Chris DiStefano is like Luke Bryan, Carrie Underwood, Brett Eldridge, like that's the man who's producing all of them. So when you're on Idol and you go into the top 5, you have to record a single. My song, Too Soon, hit the #1 on iTunes R&B soul charts when I did it on the show. So when the label sat down with me, the label for Idol, normally they pitch you music. They come to me and they go, do you have anything similar to your song that you just did? And I'm like, yeah. So I send them a YouTube video that I recorded in the pitch meeting studio. They sent that to Chris DiStefano. Chris rips my vocal from the video and builds a rough demo production around that vocal, which was one of the craziest things I have ever heard.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I didn't make it in the top 5, so I texted him and said, hey man, like, super bummed that I didn't get to work with you. Like, thank you for sending me this awesome demo. And he just goes, why don't you come visit me when you get back home? Like, come visit and we'll make this happen. And we did. I remember hearing what he had been working on with the song, and I go, who did all these like background vocals? He goes, I did. He is a force of nature.
Amazing.
He was playing all the instruments on the demo, and I could see why, like, he's the guy.
Wow.
And I asked him once, I said, how come, like, you have 1,000,001 things you could be doing, like, I'm nobody. I was like, why did you agree to work with me? And he would just goes, because the song is a great song. Which I was just like, I'm like, well, this is the kind of person I need to be around then.
Amazing, dude. Congratulations.
Don't know how you do it. Somehow you ease my mind. You take all my worries and push them aside. And it feels just like magic, the way that your hand fits in mine. And our hearts start beating together in time. You keep me grounded when I'm floating away. You put me right back on track when I'm starting to stray. You make me move mountains as high as the moon. I spelled it out so many times, but now I know that love begins with you. Now baby, it's hopeless. I've fallen so hard, and all that I need is to be where you are. You keep me grounded when I'm floating away. You put me right back on track when I'm starting to stray. You make me move mountains as high as the moon. I spelled it out so many times, but now I know.
All right, Oliver Steele, I ask everyone this question. What's a riff that you wish you had written?
There's one riff that I really wish that I wrote that I spent 3 hours learning how to play. And it's such a short little piece, but it's the opening to a song called Taylor by Jack Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
And it starts off
What's the first thing you remember learning on guitar? First song, first riff, first whatever. What do you remember?
So the first thing I learned is one of my, I call them the big four. It's like one of my big four biggest influences, which are Jack Johnson, John Mayer, my dad, and then Ed Sheeran. So Ed Sheeran was first song I ever learned it's called the A-Team, which is like his first big
I remember it.
hit in the States. And really I learned how to do the but it didn't sound like that when I was learning it. I spent 3 hours learning how to do this, because a lot of that song is him going back and forth between a G and a C.
Right.
And that was my first introduction to the concept of switching between chords and me being really, I remember getting so mad. I was so mad because I was like, just go where I want you to go. When I finally got it to ring out, and I was like, oh, perfect.
Did you sing before you played guitar?
Yeah, it's funny, like I wasn't always a singer. I was walking around, I think I was maybe in 8th grade or like 8th grade, and I was walking around singing a song as one does, just to myself. And my friend was walking with me, and she got really mad, and she goes, "You didn't tell me you were a singer." I go, "Oh no, I'm not." She goes, "Yeah, you are." I'm like, I don't know what you mean. She's like, "No, you are." And I was like, okay. So, and my dad was a musician, and
Okay.
the first gig I ever did was a coffee shop that no longer exists in Murfreesboro with my dad and his band, which is composed of my uncles, my dad's friends. And the first song I ever sang at a gig was "I'm Yours" by Jason Mraz.
Awesome.
And my knees were doing this.
That's
I was
good.
13 years old.
That's good.
My knees were bad. And I wasn't playing guitar back then.
Got you.
But it was after that I was like, you know what? I just sort of like thought to myself, if I'm going to learn to be like a singer, I'm really awkward by myself with a microphone. I'm not now because
Guitar is the best, like,
I don't have to do anything. I don't have to dance. I can just like vibe with my instrument. Like it's like a security blanket.
Absolutely it is. It is for me. Even when I get interviewed sometimes and it has nothing to, there's no playing.
You don't have to do anything.
And also I can go like that.
It's so convenient.
It's so comfortable.
We're already doing.
Yeah, it's so
like,
comfortable.
Super comfortable. And if I'm absent-minded, I could just like, sit there and practice a little picking pattern or something like that.
I love that, man.
How do we know where we should go? And we can't see exactly where it is we're supposed to be. Why do we try to look for a sign to point us in the right direction, so we won't be second guessing all the time? We all wanna find a little peace of mind, and maybe we're just blind, and it's all in the sky. It's all in the sky, in the sky.
Nice guitar.
Thanks.
What do you got? It's a Silver Sky, John Mayer Silver Sky.
Yeah, it's
with Paul Reed Smith.
Yeah, it's been a little modified. I put like a 10-way switch in here, which is a lot of fun, by the way.
Very cool.
Anybody that has a Strat, I recommend you put one of those in there. And then these are Heartland pickups they're called Sweet Sorrow. They were custom made for me for this guitar, which is actually now going to be a signature line of mine, which I'm excited about.
I see a Keb Mo signature right away.
Yeah, that Keb. I met Keb. I got a call one day from Bev Fowler at PRS, and she goes, "Hey, I have Paul on the phone. He wants to talk to you." I've performed in front of millions of people on national television, in front of Ed Sheeran.
Yep.
That was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done, is answer the phone to Paul Reed Smith.
Wow.
And he was super cool, and he just goes, "Hey man, I'd love to invite you to the artist party, and then we want to fly you out to Baltimore. We'd love for you to come perform with my band 8 Lock for a local hospital. It's a charity event."
Great.
And I met Keb there. I didn't know Keb was going to be there.
Yep.
But my dad was.
He lives in Nashville, right? I think so.
I've
seen him in
he
Nashville.
just moved back to Cali.
Okay.
And
I've seen him in Nashville.
Yeah, he was in Nashville, but I asked him, I said, "Why are you going back to California?" He just goes, "I love LA, man. I love California." I was like, "Well, follow your heart, Keb."
Real quick,
But,
I recognize one of the signatures right there.
Yeah, that's just this teacher I had.
Yep. Do I see a Corey Wong or no?
Yeah, he signed it in Sharpie, and then I had him go back with a paint pen to re-sign it because the paint pen stinks.
Right.
But this guitar essentially is like anybody that I meet or work with that is inspirational to me, that I'm like, I look up to them in a way, or I'm like just inspired by them, I want them to sign it. So Grace is actually on here too somewhere, I think over here.
Grace Bowers, of course.
Hunter Hayes is right here.
Hunter.
Ed Sheeran's down here.
Amazing.
Tomo Fujita's right here.
Tomo.
Susan Tedeschi. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
Derek Trucks. Eric is on here too. Eric Krasno's right there.
Oh, amazing.
Alanis Morissette. Lionel Richie's right here.
Amazing. Oh, my God.
I actually have a really funny story about this guitar, though.
Yeah.
So when you make it into the top 50, you have to do a showstopper performance, is what they call it. And that's the first time that you perform in front of a live crowd.
Showstoppers,
Yeah,
American Idol.
That's the first time you perform in front of a live crowd.
Oh, gotcha.
I used this guitar during that performance. I was looking at pictures in my phone that I had to take, because they make you take outfit pictures and stuff. And then I realized at some point that this intonation screw was completely missing and gone.
Oh, boy.
So that means that I went through that whole performance with that screw missing. And this was just resting
So
on
the tension of the string was keeping it in the spot.
Yeah, but had I bumped it or something, the whole thing would have fallen apart. But I was lucky enough that it didn't, especially with the way that I play. I'm so percussive with it and using my hand a lot over here and muting and stuff. For some whatever reason, the Lord was like, you shall pass. And it luckily stayed in tune and stayed in place. But I was terrified when I looked back and saw it. I was like, that could have been disastrous. That could have I could have gone home because of that. It would have just stopped working. But luckily, it survived.
Dude,
and
amazing.
I had it replaced by the folks at Shiloh Music in Mount Juliet very swiftly.
The guitarists play great. I mean, they really do.
I love this guitar. It was the first time that I've nerded out and been I'm going to buy someone's signature thing. But now I feel hypocritical because I went and changed a bunch of stuff. I was I feel like if I see Paul again, he's going to be what the hell did you do to this guitar?
Is there a John Mayer signature anywhere on it?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's the big one. That's the big one that I'm going to have him
That's your Moby Dick.
Yeah, it's going to look stupid because I'm going to have him do it right in here so it will never be touched. But that's the big one. I mean, Ed Sheeran was pretty massive for me because that's one of my heroes. I feel like John and Jack, if I can just get their signatures, I can die a happy man.
Nothing happens overnight, right?
No.
So it's kind of
no,
it means that the journey is still ongoing.
It is a journey, and I'm confident that I will get those.
I'm confident you will too.
You know what I mean? I'll get there at some point. At some point for sure.
Once again, I want to thank my good friend Oliver Steele. You guys, obviously, if you watched this video now and we're at the end of the video, don't be sad. You can watch it again. You can go to your favorite parts over and over. But please support talented musicians. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is just look down there. And we've got links for Oliver's social media, his music. He's got a new song that just came out, and other music that's out as well. And if you are in Nashville on Tuesdays, there's a music event called The Pitch Meeting, and he's usually seen performing there quite often, and also around Nashville and other places. So please support talented people by supporting Oliver Steele, by going to his stuff, following him on his journey. And we all appreciate it. So thanks again, Oliver.
Oh, thank you so
much. We'll see you on Tuesday, buddy.
Yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday.
Thanks again, you guys. We'll see you later.
All of these moments just might find their way into my dreams tonight. I know that they'll be gone when the morning light sings and brings new things. But tomorrow night, you see, they'll be gone too. Too many things I gotta do. All of these dreams just might find their way into my day-to-day scene. Be under the impression I was somewhere in between. If only two, just me and you. Not so many things we gotta do. Places we gotta be. We'll sit beneath the mango tree now. Yeah, we're always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at the stars and we're together. Well, we're always better when we're together. Yeah, we're always better when we're together. I believe in memories, they look so pretty when I see it now. And when I wake up, you look so pretty. sleeping next to me. But there is not enough time, you know. Songs I could sing, you know. Combination of words I could say, but I'll still tell you one thing, we're better together. And we'll always, say we'll always look at them stars. We're better together. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look, said everywhere you look, everywhere you go, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Better together.